Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Esti Kumalasari. So today we would like to present our material. The title of our material is Language and Brain. So let me introduce ourselves. My name is Hasti Kumalasari and my partner is Rizka Dila Syahfitri. So let's start with me. The first slide talk about the human brain. The brain is about 1.4 kilogram and contains billions of nerve cells called neurons. These neurons are connected to each other and work together to control everything we do, like speaking, listening, thinking, remembering. The brain is the center of all important mental activities, including language. And what makes humans special is that only humans have the full ability of the language. And so we can create sentences, express ideas, and understand meanings in complex ways. Animals can communicate, but not deeply and creatively as humans do. So the next slide talk about the cerebral cortex. The cortex is the thin and gray outer layer of the brain. It's full of folds called sulci and ridges called gyri that makes brain look wrinkled. This part of the brain is responsible for higher thinking, such as speaking, understanding, and so on. Over time, the human brain developed from the bottom into the upper part. The bottom or lower part is function such as survival function like breathing and heartbeat, and also the upper part is the cerebral cortex function for unique skills such as language and complex stuff. So the first in the cortex, more brain tissue inside the skull. Next, the cerebral hemisphere. The brain has two main halves called the left and right hemisphere. They are divided by a deep groove called the longitudinal fissure, but they stay connected to corpus callosum. So each side of the brain controls the opposite side of the body. This is called contralateral control. So there are two sides. The first one is right side, and the second one is right, left side, right side and left side. So left brain control the right side, and the right brain control the left side. And the left hemisphere easily function in charge of language, logic, and analysis. And the right hemisphere function for recognizing patterns, tone of voice, and metaphor. So even though the left side is more active in language, both sides work together. And complex skills like speaking and understanding language need cooperation from both sides of the brain. So the next slide talk about lobes of the cortex. So each half of the brain called a cerebral hemisphere is divided into different parts known as lobes. So each lobe has own job. There are several lobes. The first one is the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe responsible for planning, decision making, speaking, and voluntary movement. And this lobe, uh, the position of this lobe in front of the brain. And the second one the parietal lobe behind the frontal lobe is it can helps us feel and understand sensation such as touch and pain. And the next one is the temporal lobe. Temporal lobe in the side groove or lateral fissure. This lobe function for hearing, memory, and this last one is the occipital lobe. Occipital lobe in the back of the brain is for seeing and processing visual information. Investigating the living brain. When we look at the working brain, it doesn't look any different from resting one on the outside. In the past, there are neurolinguists and researchers such as Paul Broca. Paul Broca found in our brain there are Broca's area. Broca's area has problem with speaking, showing that this area is important for speech production. And scientists study about brain, or scientists research about our brain is using modern tools. There are two modern tools. First one is CT scan. CT scans show detail and structure, and PET scans. PET scans show which brains are active during different tasks. And PET studies found that speaking activities activates the left hemisphere, especially Broca's area, and really activates the occipital lobe, the angular gyrus, and other parts. So these results show that language happens mostly in the left hemisphere, but also involves several connection regions, each with its role. That's all from me. The next presentation will be explained by my partner Rizka.
Thank you, Hesti. And next, that hemispheric connection and disconnection. And the part is explained about the hemisphere function, and the based on research on hemispheric connection and disconnection shows how each brain hemisphere functions. Like this part, the hemispheric connection and disconnection function, there to there there to decoding listening and split brain studies. And the first one, decoding listening, revolves right ear advantage in right-handers, where language is processed more clearly through the right ear because it connects to the left, language dominant hemisphere. And the second one, split brain studies. This is like a patient with self corpusculism. It means show that without communication between hemispheres, the right hemisphere can recognize object, but cannot name them because it is mute. And the studies like Broca's work revolve normal brain functions by observing what it's lost when connection are damaged. Next slide, please. Next slide, Hesti. Okay, this part aphasia types. The first aphasia is a language disorder because by brain damage, like often disorder like stroke, and the there are three language disorder caused by brain injury, like the first broadcast or non-fluent aphasia. This is meant like a slow, effortful, telegraphic speech, relatively good comprehension, and trouble with syntax. And the second one, Wernicke's or fluent aphasia. This is mean fluent but meaningless speech, and this is a poor comprehension. And the third, global aphasia, uh, both production and comprehension severely impaired. And next, and dyslexia and dysgraphia. And dyslexia is a reading impairment, and dysgraphia is a writing impairment. And uh, the both can be acquired after brain damage in people who previously read and wrote normally. In broadcast aphasia, reading and writing problems mirror speech problem. For example, like paragraphia. In Wernicke's aphasia, writing looks neat but is meaningless, and reading comprehension is severely impaired. And sometimes reading or writing disruption is the main symptom, usually linked to damage near the angular gyrus. And this dyslexia have two main types. The first, phonological dyslexia. It means like a loss of spelling to sound rules. This can only read familiar words. And the second one, surface dyslexia. It means cannot recognize whole words. This applies regular rules and misreads irregular words. Okay, next. Okay, the linguistic theory and aphasia. Based on research on aphasia through linguistic theory, shows that language damage is not just speech loss, but a loss of underlying rules and representations like phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantic. Grammatism is broadcast aphasia indicates disruption of synthetic competence and function words. And the cross-linguistic studies reveal this deficit as misselection of forms rather than simply drawing affixes. Okay, next. Okay, the last part, where is language? Uh, I think language functions are linked to specific brain areas, like a broadcast for speech and syntax, work next for comprehension, and the angular gyrus for reading. But normally language involve the whole cortex, uh, because word storage and read retrieval rewrite retrieval seems widely distributed, and there is no single location of language. And in in neurolinguistics aims not just to locate a language, but this is to explain what language is and how it is represented in the brain. Maybe that's all for me. Back to the presenter.
Okay, that's all from our presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.